I've had lots of people ask me how to use the import function on the Drumr app, so today I'm going to show you how to do it for marching drum scores. You need to have Sibelius Ultimate. The latest version that I've got here is build 10379, and step one is pretty simple. You're going to go straight to the Drumr website, drumr.app, and you're going to go along the top here to where it says imports, and in here you're going to download the notation templates. You can see that we've got one for drum kit, snare, marching tenors and bass. The snare one is obviously the one I'm after, so I'm going to download that, and you can see that's dropped that straight inside my downloads folder as a zip file. I'm going to double click that to open it, and I get this here. In here I've got this picture file which is showing me all of the note heads, and it's showing you what each of them actually means. I'm going to put this on the other screen. We'll come back to this in a minute. And the other thing we've got is we've got the actual Sibelius score here. Very important you use this particular score, otherwise the stuff that you create is probably not going to open in the app. So I'm going to open this up. You can see that I've got a basic score written out here for you, ready to go. And you can see that it's mostly standard notehead types. When you click on a notehead, you'll see at the bottom of the screen down here, it will show you notehead normal 0, or this one is notehead cross 1. Those are massively important. If you have other noteheads, this won't work. The reason I've given you this score is this score has got just about all of the noteheads that we can possibly have. And so what I quite often suggest people do is, first of all, we add some bars to the bottom. So and then what I want to do is say I'm going to create a score. I'm just going to copy and paste some of these. So I'm going to hold Alt down, and I'm just going to press R for repeat, and I'm going to write out some notes. Now, yes, you can still use the keypad up here, but sometimes I find that it saves a bit of time if we use the copy and paste. Now, there's a couple of things that you're going to definitely want to do. So let's tell you what, let's write a little bit of a score out here, right? So if I just write some random notation, let's get rid of those accents for the moment. Let's say that rather than playing digga digga da 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 da, we want to put some accents in there. Well, accents are the same as normal. We're just going to stick them in like this. What you'll find though is in Sibelius, they don't have a big difference between their louds and their quiets. And so we want to make that work for us. So the first thing that I'll always do is at the start of the score, you'll see there's a forte here. I'm going to put a forte in here. If you don't put a forte for drumline stuff, it kind of messes with our accents and taps. Now at the moment, we've got a loud accent here now, but the taps here won't be taps. They'll still be pretty loud as well. So what I would suggest doing is we go and select all of the notes that are going to be taps. And on the left-hand side here in the inspector, I'm going to change the velocity manually down to somewhere like 80. Now you can do this by using expression if you want. I've seen people go in here and do every single note, saying this one's mezzo forte, this one's mezzo piano, but I find it a lot easier if you go and use the velocities over here. So now we've got a pattern that goes da 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 ga da 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 da. What if I want to do rim shots? Well, the rim shots you can see are these guys here, the X's. So I can just copy that down here, or I can go up to notation. I can go to my notation type, and I've got to make sure that I choose the cross here. If I chose the wrong cross, so somewhere down here there'll be a different cross, look, cross ornate or the cross 2, that won't open in Drumr. It'll come up with an error message. And as I said before, this is your Bible right here. Look, so we can go in and we can see, look, if we want an accented rim shot, make sure we're using cross number 1, and you'll see that it will look like that. If I want the rim of the drum, I use cross number 1, but you can see that this time it's going to be above the line. So one higher, rim of the drum, one higher than that would be stick click, and all those are written out for you in the sheet I've just shown you. Now the only thing here that's a little bit unusual is buzz rolls. So one of the things we had to do for buzz rolls to make it work correctly and sound like the drumline sounds that we want were to change the notehead type. You can see here that this notehead type here is an arrow pointing downwards. Well, that's going to be a buzz, but where you press into the drum. So very much a zzz rather than a zzz. So if I want that, I select the notehead. This tenuto over the top is irrelevant. You don't have to have that in there. And in fact, you don't actually have to even have the buzz sign on there. That will automatically be put in by the DNS system in Drumr, but I like to put them in there so I can see them. Let's say that I want to go, I press there, and I'm going to then ask it to do a 16th note buzz roll. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to change these note heads here eventually you'll get used to these numbers. So 14 here is going to be the buzz rolls. And as I said, I'm going to put in there, excuse me, I'm going to put in there those buzzes there. Now at the moment, those are coming out at normal velocity. Look, they're coming out at forte, because this just keeps going at forte forever until it's all different. If, for instance, I wanted that to be a decrescendo, then all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my decrescendo sign and I'm going to do this. Well, at the moment, it doesn't know how loud or how quiet to go from. Now it's going to go from forte because it's picking it up from me. I need to tell it at the end of here, I want you to go quiet down to mezzo piano. Sometimes if I'm writing in different parts, say I've written some diddles for these two notes and I want this one here to be quiet, if I forget and I put a piano there, but I've already told these two to be 80, it will pick up the 80 over the top of the mezzo piano. So be careful you don't accidentally do that. Now the big one for you guys who are into marching though is going to be flams. Now flams, you can put them in the same way you normally do. So I can just put a flam like this and a flam like this, and what you're going to find though, they're not going to sound quite perfect. And so the way that we have fixed that, the easiest way is just to copy and paste one of these. So I've selected this note here, look, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Alt and I'm going to click just in front of that guy there, and it's going to sound perfect for you. And I might put one there as well. This is done from the velocity settings that we've got in the inspector. And so if your flams sound awful, that's probably what's going to be causing it. Now, let's show you how we get this onto the app then. So I could, if I wanted to, then go and delete all the stuff that I don't need. So let's say that we're going to remove all of this because we don't actually need it. And let's get rid of all this stuff at the end. Let's pretend this is your drum score you want to go and practice in Drumr. And I'm going to call this Drumr with 2 M's, right? Tempo, it will pick up from here, obviously. So let's say it's going to be 120. And text, again, has to be done the way we like it. So say you want to write something above here, then you might go in here and say press. Okay, file, export. We need two types of files here. We need a MusicXML file and we need a MIDI file. MusicXML, uncompressed, press export. I'm going to put that straight in there. I'm going to let it call it whatever it wants. And I'm going to do the same for the MIDI. Export, again in the same folder. I'm going to save that. So now I'm going to go back to the website here and I'm going to click on imports as before, and you can see create Drumr file. Well, we've done the templates. All we've got to do now, look, is exactly what it says to do here. I'm going to ensure that they're both the same. Well, I've just exported them. I know that it's going to name them the same thing, and I can only do one pair at a time. I can click on here, and there are my two files, and you can see they're named exactly the same thing. Obviously, the .mid and the .musicXML is going to be different, but the naming convention before that is exactly the same. So I'm going to enter that, and that's going to put them in here. You can see at the bottom. All I've got to do then is go down and tell it what output I want. I want a marching snare output, and I'm going to say create me a Drumr file. Well, the Drumr file are the files that we use to import to be able to play on your iPads and your MacBooks and your iPhones. So if I go into here, you can see I've now got the Drumr file. The fastest way that I find to get it onto my iPad is just to share. I mean, you can email this to your friends, you can do what you want with this, right? But I find the easiest way for me is to go to AirDrop and choose Jeff's iPad, and that will appear on the iPad. Now on the iPad over here, you can see it shows me that it's imported it. All I've got to do next is go into Drumr. I'm going to go to the library at the top, then I'm going to go to imports, and in imports I'm going to press the plus button, and I'm going to say, right, here's the file that I've just put in there, let's import that. And then I can press play. Once more for us. And that's how to do imports.